Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in today and watching my video. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate anybody that takes their time out of their busy life to watch one of my videos. And if you like the content you see, please subscribe and share and hit the like button. Today I want to do my September top baits. Got some, I guess, categories, September categories, not just a few baits. I got a couple different baits I really like during this time of the year. So without further ado, we'll get into it. My first pick will be the True Faith Custom Bait Buzzbait. This is one of my favorite colors, the mouse color. It's got the bigger blade on it. I can reel it slower if I need to reel it slower, or I can reel it fast as well. I'll throw it around laydowns, weeds, stumps, standing timber, rocks, just anywhere shallow. I'm not going to be fishing very deep this time of year, even if it is still kind of hot outside. Seems like I find a lot more bass up shallower, from the bank out to about 8 to 10 feet. Is going to be my main focus. I like to fish somewhere that's close to deep water, channel swing bank, especially points, where you have a channel swing come right in close to a point and the point comes up, kind of a flat point. I usually look for flatter points with a good drop off to them. I'll throw up there across that point, especially if there's standing timber, laydowns, big chunk rock, whatever. I'll throw this thing. You want to put it on the bank. Sometimes I land it on the bank and pull it out into the water. You'll be surprised at how shallow those fish are this time of year. A lot of it has to do with the bait fish moving up into that cover right there on the bank, and the bass and other species pushing the bait fish up shallow to eat them. So my number one category will be a top water, and this is a buzz bait, the True Faith Custom Bait Buzz Bait. Other top waters I like, are walking type baits, like a Zaraspook, Sexy Dog, Vixen. All those are great, and this one here is actually made out of rubber. It's like a frog. It's got a frog hook on it, frog style hook, and it's rubber like a frog. I can throw this into weeds. I can throw this into laydowns. I can put this anywhere that I want to put it. It skips like crazy. I can skip it up and under docks, and this thing will not get hung up. Bass are not used to seeing a walking style bait in the middle of a lay down tree and walking it out. So this is an awesome presentation. I had that color. I've got this shad color. And I've got a black. Another great presentation is the popper. Is a popping style bait. And again, this is a rubber one, just like the frog, I can throw this thing anywhere that I want as well. I got that color. I got a bluegill color. And then the shad color. And both of these here, both of those here with the white bottom and bone colored bottom is what I'll be throwing mainly this time of year, since they'll be feeding on shad. Another great bait this time of year it would go along with top waters. This is kind of like a top water, is the old glide bait, a good glide bait, in several different colors and sizes. I got several different sizes and kinds, and these glide baits work really well. Even the big ones. I mean, if you got some big shad, most of the time I throw the smaller presentations in September this time of year, because the fish are feeding on the fry and small shad that hatched out, that was spawned out this year. So that's my first. Wow. Let me roll that window up. That school bus doesn't sound very good. I'm sitting here in line waiting to pick kids up from school. Anyway, that's my first category of baits that I want to talk about is topwater, and I'll fish those in any water clarity, out to about 10 foot deep. The second category will be like a spinnerbait. This True Faith Custom Bait spinnerbait. I use the smaller blades due to the size of the shad and bait fish. This is also a great color, the white and chartreuse. It's a great shad imitator. I'll use a mouse like the buzz bait, and also I have buzz bait and spinner bait that's this color, shad colored, as well, and I use the smaller blades on them. I always use a silver and gold combination on my spinner baits. Seems like I get more bites when I do that than I do when I have just all silver or all gold. Seems like I get more bites having it two-tone that way. I'll throw those across points, down the bank, parallel the bank, just like I do the buzz bait. Parallel the bank at kind of a 45-degree angle and slow roll it. Most times slow roll. Sometimes they want it fast. Kind of depends on the conditions at the time. If they're super aggressive, you can crank them things fast and they'll come up and annihilate them. Other times you'll have to slow roll them. I always use like a 3/8, or in this case, this is a 1/4 ounce looking head, but it's the hidden weight, so it's a 1/2 ounce. And also in this group is going to be the swim jig. Swim jig is awesome to throw around docks, lay downs, stumps, standing timber. I'll put on a like a cross style trailer, or I usually use a Z-Craw on here. They give has good action. And another one in this category be the good old chatterbait. You can't forget the chatterbait. This is a True Faith custom bait bladed jig here. Again, this is a mouse color, and I've also got it in the shad color. And I'll pair this with a Hog Farmer trailer. Oh, what's those trailers called? I can't think of it now. But anyway, I can't think of that Hog Farmer trailer. I think most of you probably recognize the Hog Farmer and probably know the trailer that I'm talking about. It just has a slim, comes out to a slim tail, and it's got a lot of action, and it is the most awesome chatterbait bladed jig trailer that you can put on the back of a bladed jig. I mean, it works awesome. It's the best one that I've found so far, for me anyway. And then we'll go in to the bottom bouncers. True Faith custom bait football jig. This was brown with a little peanut butter colored on the bottom with some purple. This is a freaking awesome color this time of year. I catch a ton of bass on that dark brown and peanut butter colored skirts with a little bit of purple flash in them. Again, True Faith custom baits football jig. And then you'll always want, anyway, you'll want a Texas rig, a creature bait or a cross style bait. I forgot to bring a Texas rig cross style bait or a creature bait. I forgot to bring one with me, but I can show you I can show you how to Texas rig. I've got one of these Ned rigs. This is a Ned rig is not freaking awesome bait this time of year because it's small and you can get them to look like a shad. This looks just like a shad, and the fish loves them. But you'll put this on a Ned head, of course. But the Texas rig, you go in about eighth to a quarter inch. You bring it up like that, up to the eye, up and over the eye is what I usually do, is up and over the eye. And then you'll see then you measure it and see where it'll come out. Then you'll pinch it up, bring it all the way through. And if it's not real heavy cover, I just leave it exposed like that. It just lays flat on top of the plastic. Now if you're going to be fishing heavy cover or weeds, I'll pinch it up just a little bit and then bring it right over the tip and put the tip right in there, and that makes it totally weedless, and you can fish it in the heaviest of cover. And then we was talking about bottom bouncers. The Ned rig, can't beat the old Ned rig. Put it on the Ned head. Anyway, put it on the old Ned head. Ned rig works awesome this time of year. have one of those tied on in case the fish are finicky that day. And then one of my favorite baits for finicky bass. Here's the 2.5 inch tube. The 2.5 inch tube. I catch a lot of bass on these little 2.5 inch tubes. Throwing them out on those same points and on those same flatter banks. I'll fish some 45-degree banks, but I don't go any more vertical than 45 degrees. I like it 45 degrees or flatter. And I'll fish these tubes around brush and that kind of thing, brush and standing timber and rocks and rock piles and brush piles. I probably shouldn't give this little tip away, but to rig a tube weedless, you want to take your head and go down inside of it, come out just about where your head will be, run your head up and in there. This is too big a head for this little tube. I have smaller heads for these little tubes. But then it's like a Texas rig. You put it in there, and you'll still get the death spiral. Get your eye out. Get your eye poked out so you can tie your line on, and you still get your death spiral with that kind of rig. I can show you better on a bigger tube here in a minute. Anyway, you'll go in. Oops, wrong way. Well, that's got a lot of salt in it. These are the Big Bite Baits tour tubes. Well, they got a lot of salt. You put it in there. Run it out. Get salt all over me and my truck. See, the head's inside there, and you can poke the eye out right there. You can tie on. I use a bigger hook. This is not the head that I use, but I just got this for showing purposes. You run the hook out, and just like a regular Texas rig, you put the point of it in there. There's your totally weedless tube that'll still have a death spiral. I usually use a EWG hooked head, extra wide gap hook head, and that you'll still get a death spiral, and that is totally weedless. You can throw that in the thickest of brush, and it works awesome. And last but not least, we'll have a crankbait tied on. This is a DT10. I like DT6s, 8s, 10s this time of year. Sometimes I'll go up one size bigger just to make sure I get down to the 10-foot level. But again, a shad color. And in the same category, I will have a square bill tied on this time of year. And that's my categories and the baits that I will be using in September. And anyway, I'm gonna get off of here, and it's about time to start moving up and pick kids up. You have a blessed week. Please hit the like, share, subscribe, and like buttons. and I will see you guys on the water.